Hi, this is Matthew. We're going to talk about an interesting show that most people probably won't know about. It's a Canadian series called Corner Gas that aired on the channel there called CTV from 2004 to 2009. Had 6 seasons. There was a movie in 2014. And there was an animated series that also lasted 4 seasons. I've only seen a little bit of it. It is a comedy series created by a man named Brent Butt. That's his name. Is a comedian in Canada. Is from Saskatchewan. So is of course, his character is named Brent as well. His dad, Oscar, the actor, was also is also from Saskatchewan. Apparently, he begged them to let him play Oscar because he was from there and understood the man. It is a small town in Saskatchewan, the province in Canada. I think it's pronounced Rollo, which is a little bit out, little ways from Regina, which is a town in Saskatchewan. It looks like Regina. They pronounce it Regina there. So they did actually film in Saskatchewan. I guess they built all the external shots of the town were done there, but I thought there was stuff inside the buildings. I don't know. I thought there was stuff inside of these places, but apparently they went to a soundstage in Regina to film any inside shots, but I really thought they filmed inside the places too there, but maybe they didn't. I don't know. That's what I read online. I don't know. I never got to go see it or anything, which is so sad. It's a very funny show. It's a lot of dry humor, and it's like, I guess, kind of like Seinfeld, where nothing happens, but when it does, everybody kind of freaks out and does weird things or says stuff. Very funny, very dry humor. I enjoyed it immensely. Blind friend over there was recording episodes and shared the audio to a place, and I heard one episode and just thought, oh my gosh, this is hilarious. I can't wait for more of these. So he started putting them up there. And then every time there was a new season, I would import it from Canada because obviously you couldn't get it here in the U.S. at all. Still can't. Some streaming options, but you can't actually buy it here at all that I know of. Unless it's on that. Maybe Amazon has it for purchase, I'm not sure, but it is available to stream there, and Pluto and Plex. Something called FilmRise has it, and the CW has 2 seasons on their app. That app is great because you don't have to have an account for it. The other ones I think probably do. I'm not sure what FilmRise is, but it is a very funny show. You have Brett, as I said, he runs the gas station Corner Gas, which is where a lot of it centers. His dad is Oscar. His wife is Emma. Sadly, that actress has passed away, and when the animated series has been made, when they made it, they had a different voice for her because she had died, unfortunately. Then you have Lacey, who runs the Ruby Cafe next door. They struck a pretty good friendship. They actually ended up getting... I don't know, did they actually marry? I don't know if they actually ever get married, but I forget now. I don't know if they I guess they don't, but I forget. I don't think they actually do, but they're always kind of friends, but they always try to one up each other for different things. Then you have Wanda, who also works there. Kind of a lot of the cashier-related duties, stuff. Brett would go fill up his gas tanks and stuff, talk to him. And they have Hank, who is very... he's a mechanic, but he's kind of the bumbling type, but definitely comedic relief, very funny. And then you have Karen and Davis, who are the cops. Davis has been on the job for a while. I forget his first name right now. He's usually Davis. And Karen was like the new recruit, kind of newer person. Had been in the forces long. A lot of stuff between them. And just Yeah, you see the mayor, Fizzy, I think his name is. There's some others. His grandmother. There's a lot of just little people that pop up every once in a while. Um, Several old ladies that say random stuff. Some kids occasionally. Like the first. There's one waitress that was in the first season. She's actually was from there, but then she went off to university and never saw her again. But she actually was from that town. Did a good job. I hope she did well somewhere. Yeah, they use a lot of I guess people from the area and from around there and in Saskatchewan and stuff. It's just really funny. My brother, I guess, knew people online from there. He's like, "Oh yeah, that's how they act." I've talked to several of them, so I think it's pretty accurate. But it was satire, but done in a kind of a nice way, to just in support of the area. Just funny stuff. There was even a Christmas episode. Just all kinds of crazy. Oscar always was doing something crazy, or he wouldn't understand something, or would mishear something. So much of the humor is like misheard words or phrases, and there's times where I guess Scrubs did this, where you've got something and someone will think about it and it will show up in their head, but you'll see it. Oscar's like, "Oh, I wonder," it was like, "Don't you know washing machines do?" And there's like people like, I don't know, singing, doing stuff in his head. I don't know. It's just funny little weird stuff like that will go on. You'll see what someone's thinking and it'll go back to what, to the present day. Like they'll switch around. Just funny stuff. It's a really funny scene in the pilot, which I hope we can find for this video. It opens the whole show. It's just view of the gas station. Brent comes out and talks to this guy as he's filling up his tank. They're just chatting around and he's talking how flat it is, and they're making jokes about how there's mountains and there's not, and Hank's getting involved in it, and the guy's like, "Are you ever sarcastic?" Always is sarcastic. And then they say, "There's nothing else to do." Because it's the middle of the prairies in Canada. There's not much going on out there. Of course, the main theme is called "Not a Lot Going On," actually. Which they put an album of that, and I've never found it. The two, there were two themes. There's an opening and a closing theme. I forget what the closing theme is called right now, but in the credits. But that was on an album of other material they did. I never could find. I found it, but it was always out of stock. And I've never found it. I've never been able to stream it. I'd love to find it. Don't know where to find it. I look for it occasionally, and I just never see it on Amazon Canada or anything, or here. I don't think any of the music ever got released from the show that I know of. There's just a lot of just funny things in the show. There are a lot of pop culture references from like 70s and 80s stuff, and a lot of Canadian references to things that my friend's like, "Well, this episode they're going to mention so and so," and he would explain who the person was, so that I'm like, in case you're not sure who this is why this is a joke. And a lot of interactions with him, and I actually he was described over there all seasons. I had a lot of emails back and forth with the actual people that did it, thanking them and whatnot. They were released on DVD, as I said. I have all of them still. Season 1 did not have description. 2 through 6 did. They actually have it on the discs. I want to say Amazon also did them, but I know I'm very irritated. I know the original description was available. Now I've looked with the VPN into Canada from CTV. I played an episode and they've redone them. Totally different people, and I don't like it. I'm very irritated. I really got to like the people that did it, and I think the lady I might have talked to who describe other things, I think she has just passed away. I never got to speak to her by voice, just by emails. I think her husband did the audio description for the show, and I'm really irritated that they've replaced it with some other thing. I don't know why that was needed. It was perfectly fine. I'm a little irritated that it's a different description on it was a season 1. I think it was a season 1 or 2 episode I just clicked on randomly. Because they were celebrating the 20th anniversary last year, and it was like, it's not even the same description track. I'm really irritated. It was another guy doing it. I'm sure he does a perfectly fine job. I just was so irritated when I clicked on it, and it was not. I guess I need to go back and watch it. I give it a fair shake, as they say. But I just was so irritated when I went, and it was a different one. Just like I'm so used to the other. I know that one was in stereo. The others were mono because they were on the TV. But yeah, it's so funny. It's hard to explain it. You kind of have to watch it the way the humor is. And there's no laugh track. It is a sitcom. There's no laugh track. But you have to think, oh, wait, that was funny. That's my first. I'm watching it. Wait, I need to go back. Let me rewind that. That was actually funny. Oh, okay, I understand now. There's no laugh track. Because it's so ingrained in your head. It was so funny. So I interact with everybody in the town. Lacey always doing stuff. It's hard to explain. It's worth a watch. But I hope we can include that opening scene somehow. It's just, my brother watched that. He just, oh my God. Okay, he's like, I see what's happening. He watched some of it, and some other friends of mine, they actually borrowed all of them from me, and they watched the whole run and just loved it. It did get shown on WGN, but they just kind of would put it on. It was when they were past the days when they were Superstation, before they were on which they're now News Network. But they had just a lot of like old syndicated shows and stuff from other places. They had some other Canadian shows, but they had this one. But it always seemed like they just, wherever they needed to put it, they would put it, and it was never in order. Occasionally they would refer back to an episode which they hadn't even shown, but it was really cool to see it on. But it was very sporadically aired in weird slots where they just needed something to fill it. They didn't give it the love I felt it deserved and the attention it needed. And I mean, now it's on streamers, but I don't know that people know it's there. No one talks about it. It's a funny show. I don't really know how to explain it. And as I said, they did have the movie that I didn't have to go to Canada for. I just searched for it here, and somebody had it from Canada. They had, I guess, gotten it somehow and were reselling it, and I bought that version. I made sure it was the same company because I wanted the Canadian version. It was not described. If anyone knows it's described, let me know. I did try to contact the people that did it before. I never heard back from them at the time. If it's ever been done, let me know. I maybe can get to it in Canada if it doesn't have a cable provider login that most channels do there. Some things on CTV where that aired I can watch, like this one. Certain shows I can watch, others I have to have a provider for, but that's one I don't have to have a provider for. So I may go back and watch it over there. That's where I watched Say It Unseen that I also did a review on. It's also a CTV show that's currently airing. But that is also, the Corner Grass is definitely there. I don't know if I can watch the animated. I'll have to look. I don't know if I can watch that over there. I would have to try it and see. But that is even weirder because it's a cartoon and they can do even weirder stuff. There's even a Bigfoot running around. There's some really, really funny things that they just could never do in live action. Just over the top silly, but it's funny anyway. That aired for 4 seasons. Everybody came back as of course Emma couldn't because she died. They had to replace her. I didn't know that. I asked on Facebook, and someone said, "Oh well, because she died." I'm like, oh my god! And I looked, she had died, and everybody's last names were, I guess, towns in Saskatchewan. That so he was again totally playing on the Saskatchewan stuff and pride of being from there. Because everybody's last name is a town, I think. As far as I know, they were all towns in Saskatchewan. Yeah, you had Brett Oscar, Emma Leroy, you had Hank Yarbo, Lacey Burrows, Kieran Pelly, I forget Davis's last name, Wanda Dollard. What is his last name? Let me look really fast. See if I can find it real fast. One second, let me see if I can find his name really fast, because I can't remember his. He's just Davis. Yeah, he's just Davis. Oh, Davis Quinton. Davis Quinton. Okay, because he's just always Davis. And I have forgotten his name. Davis Quinton. I think those were all. I don't know if that's a. I assume it's a Saskatchewan, but everybody, as far as I know, has a Saskatchewan name. There may be some exceptions, but most, if not all, have a Saskatchewan town name as their last name. Just funny stuff like that all the way through. So it was a show I wish I could have watched live from there. Never got to do that. Later seasons, I got to have somebody, he put them up after with the commercials, and then he would edit them. But I always watched the other one first, and I would keep the other file. I still have those files in my OneDrive because they are not, of course, available. And of course, season one was always from, I think, VHS, and then he got a DVR and recorded them, but then, of course, he replaced them with his DVD copies later. One was never replaced because it's not available. It was on, they have a channel called, it was the accessible channel. It's called AMI TV. Everything is described on the channel. It's open. You don't have to have any settings. It's an open channel with description and captions. And they aired it. I know they aired that season on there too with description with the rest of it. Now I'm guessing they have redone the whole thing. I will have to watch that and see from there and see what I think of the writing of the description track and everything. But it's a show really without description would have been harder to watch. I could have dealt with it, but it would have been a lot harder. There's a lot of visual things that I would not have known about. Just funny things. It's hard to explain, but I love this show. I miss it. I wish it had gone on for maybe a 7th season, but it didn't. I just wish more people knew about it. So, if you like really dry humor, you'll love this show. And if you like just kind of weird, crazy things in a small town, people freaking out about the littlest thing will just set somebody off on a tangent about something, or they'll do something ridiculous because they don't want something to be there, or they don't like something, or whatever it may be. It's hard to explain it. But I miss the show. I wish it was still on, and I wish more people knew about it. But I love it myself. So glad I found out about it. I guess I'll stop talking about it for now and send this off, and we'll see you guys in another video.